There are so many hidden truths in Chinese history, something science can't explain. This is the Lotus Files. I'm your host, Zoe Yang. Like and subscribe before we travel to the Far East Empire, where every tale begins in the news but ends in silence. Chapter 1, Where It All Began. I never planned to write any of this down. It's been nearly 20 years. Most of the original posts are gone, the links are dead, and the images won't load anymore. But I still have fragments, buried deep on an old hard drive, and in my head, where they won't leave me, where I don't dare delete them. His name was Zoe Yang. I never knew his real name. We met on an old Chinese forum called Tianya, buried in a subforum for ghost stories and urban legends called Lotus Ghost Tales. We were both in our early 20s back then, posting weird fiction, swapping local lore, sometimes just shitposting under horror threads. He was different though, always a little intense, a little too sincere. He wrote like he believed in everything he said, and maybe he did. His posts always had this edge, like he was trying to prove something to himself, or maybe to the rest of us. He once said, "I like pushing the unbelievable to its extreme." His words, not mine. On February 19th, 2006, 1 minute before midnight, he posted something new. The title was Experiment. Tonight I'm trying the 4 big ghost summoning games, live streaming. If I don't post again, call the cops. The body text was short, just 1 paragraph. Trying 4 tonight. Apple peeling in front of a mirror, incense ash rice at the crossroads, Bloody Mary, and the 4 corners game. If I stop posting, assume I'm dead. LOL. The replies came fast. Most people treated it like a joke. Some dropped memes. One user replied with a photoshopped ghost eating apples. If you see the ghost, ask her measurements before you run. I commented too, said, "Is this a summoning ritual or a gotcha roll?" Zoe replied with a string of ha-ha-has, then added, "You can join if you want. I still need 1 more for the 4 corners game." I thought he was joking. That 1 sentence turned out to be the start of everything. That night, he posted 3 updates. 12:13 a.m. Finished the Apple thing, peeled it in 1 go. But the mirror, something was off. I was looking down while peeling, but the reflection was looking back at me, smiling, I think. 12:57 a.m. Ate the incense ash rice. Tasted salty and bitter, whole mouth still numb. Nobody at the crossroads, but I recorded something. Some kind of breathing sound. I'll check it later. Moving on. 1:34 a.m. Bloody Mary didn't respond. Mirror fogged up, but I only said her name once. I couldn't say it again. Felt like someone was standing right on the other side of the glass, just watching. I couldn't look anymore, now waiting for the others, getting ready for the 4 corners game. And then, nothing. No more posts, no replies, no edits. At first, we thought he was just trolling, that it was all part of the bit, some edgy ARG or sleep-deprived prank. But the next day, and the next, a full 2 weeks passed. His ID never came back online. His QQ avatar grayed out. Private messages unread. His blog stopped updating too. That's when it started to feel real. I contacted someone in Shanghai who knew him offline. The guy was cagey. He said Zoe had gotten into some trouble, but wouldn't elaborate. Just told me, straight up, you should delete all of it. Things got weirder. 3 days after Zoe's last post, the whole thread was deleted by the system. The reason? Content violated site policy. 2 accounts that had commented were banned. One belonged to a girl named Wen Arctic, who claimed she'd been part of the Four Corners game. The other was Mr. Iron Teeth, a user who'd reposted screenshots of the thread to a BBS forum. Both of them vanished, never seen again. I'm not trying to embellish any of this. What I just wrote, that's everything I still have. The fragments, the residue. I wouldn't be writing it now if it weren't for one thing. A few nights ago, I dreamt of Zoe. He was standing in a room with 4 corners. A single light bulb swayed above him. His head was down. Then he said, "The game isn't over." I woke up, heart pounding, and my computer screen was on. It was showing the homepage of Tianya Forum, which shouldn't be possible. The site was shut down years ago. My PC had crashed. But in that frozen moment, I swear I saw his username blink in the corner, just for a second. Then it was gone. You probably think I'm losing my mind. I don't blame you. But if you're still reading, I'll tell you everything I know. What happened after the Four Corners game? The disappearances. The girl who lost her mind. The shaman who refused to intervene. And the truth about the 5th player. Chapter 2. The night of the Four Corners game. The room was a perfect square. Too perfect, really. It sat on the 4th floor of an old building, the kind where the cold seeps in through the walls and settles in your bones. The floor creaked under every step. The paint peeled from the walls like decaying skin. And the shadows, they weren't still. They moved, slow and quiet, like a web tightening, waiting to catch something. There were 4 of them that night. Zoe Yang, Jen, Wen, and Xiao Jiang. The room was empty. No furniture, no decorations. The only window had no glass, sealed shut with layers of old newspaper and cardboard. They'd found a few things left behind by the previous tenant. A splintered stool, a broken wall clock, and a crooked standing mirror. "Let's take a photo first," Zoe said, lifting his phone. I still have that photo. It's blurry, but you can just make out their 4 figures, each one holding a phone and a dim flashlight. There was no ceiling light. They shut the door, taped a talisman over it, and turned off the last lamp. The room dropped into darkness. Not night, deep sea darkness. From DV footage. Confirming time, February 20th, 2006, 1:47 a.m. 4 players ready. Game begins. Walk clockwise. When you pass someone, tap their shoulder. If the corner's empty, clap once and keep walking. No talking, no turning around, no stopping. You can hear footsteps in the audio, soft, almost polite creaks on the floorboards. A minute passes. Clap. Another minute. Clap. Then, Wen. Someone's breathing behind me. Jen. It's me. You're too jumpy for a courage game. Zoe. Low. Keep going. No talking. 5 minutes go by. No claps. No one speaks. Then Xiao Jiang suddenly shouts, "We're not 4 people anymore. I've walked 3 full circles. There's always someone ahead of me." That's when the panic hits. Zoe shouts, trying to keep his voice low. "Keep walking. Do not stop." The audio devolves into chaos. Footsteps stumbling, heavy breathing, voices tangled over each other, then someone screaming. Jen, something's wrong. The person in front of me, she's not Wenwen. Wenwen starts sobbing. Xiaojiang begins to pray, and then a voice, but not one of theirs. A voice like it's coming from inside the walls, raspy, slow, not human. It's your turn, Zoe. Stop! Lights on! Click. The flashlight beam cuts the darkness. 4 people, 4 corners. But there's someone else, a 5th figure, facing the wall, standing between Wenwen and Jen. Wenwen fainted on the spot. Xiaojiang vomited. Zoe raised his flashlight. That 5th figure had no reflection and no feet. It turned and then rushed straight at Jen, silent and impossibly fast. It shoved him aside and leapt right onto the windowsill, and then out from the 4th floor, gone. The building fell silent. They ran to the window, but there was no body, no sound of impact, nothing. Jen collapsed to the floor, pale and shaking. Its face, it was like TV static, just noise, no features, not a person, not even close. The audio degrades into static and cuts off. They all said the room was cold after that. Not air-conditioned cold, wet bones, post-mortem cold. Like the whole room had turned inside out, and they were standing inside some giant thing's gut. Jen had bruises on his neck, patches of purple that looked like they'd frozen solid. Wenwen was the first to break. She said she saw the 5th person smile at her, right before she screamed. You can see it in the video. Her pupils blow wide, the kind of reflex you get when a predator lunges at you. Wenwen's message, 2 days before she vanished. I dreamed the 4 of us were walking, but each time we circled the room, one more person joined. No one spoke, but I knew they weren't us anymore. In the last round, I saw my own back, but I was still walking. After that, she stopped leaving her apartment. Her social posts became erratic. He's inside the door. It's not me. There's an extra one. Shadows can walk too. A week later, her parents had her committed. The doctors said she refused to look into mirrors. Sometimes they'd find her standing in front of one, whispering to it. Once, she scratched words into the mirror with her fingernails. Over and over. I'm not me. The last word was written in blood. No one wanted to talk about that night again. They split up, went home. No police, no questions, no mention of the footage. But a few weeks later, someone calling themselves a cleanup tech claimed they'd cracked Zoe's recorder. They uploaded a short backup clip. It's still floating around the dark web. Recovered audio, possibly unreleased segment. Jen, no, we counted the corners. There should be 4. Why is there someone in the first one? Wenwen, terrified. Wait, did I just tap you? Who did I tap? Xiaojiang, screaming. He touched me. He's not one of us. He's not anyone. Unknown voice. Keep going. Keep going. Then 17 seconds of silence. Only the waveform shows activity. Somebody ran a frequency split, enhanced the audio. It sounds like a recording. Old, like theater audio. Indistinct whispers. 3 words repeat. Alternate. 5th. Person. Someone even turned the audio into a spectrogram and found a shape in the noise. A figure, sitting on a chair, head bowed, and underneath it, someone crawling, hair dragging across the floor. A few days later, Jen shut down his social media. His last post read, "If the person in your dream trades places with you, who wakes up?" Xiaojiang vanished. His final message said, "The man in the corner is calling me." Zoe? He left just one post behind. "I don't think I made it to the last corner." And then, nothing. But the footage did exist. In the moment the flashlight came on, you can freeze the frame and see something in the corner. A face, barely visible, mouth turned up in a grin. No eyes, just blur, like a corrupted image file. Someone tried digging through the video metadata. They found one hidden frame, frame next 66. It contained a single sentence. "Keep going. I'm still walking." No one knows who wrote it. No one's played the game since. But the game didn't end. The fear, the extra person, it didn't vanish when the light came on. It stayed, like a virus, waiting. It sank into their lives, slow and quiet. Most people think the horror was that night, but they're wrong. The real nightmare began after. In the next chapter, I'll tell you what happened to each of them. Not from the news, not from police reports, from deleted blog posts, psychiatric notes, corrupted files, and Zoe's notebook, found in a sealed room at the edge of town. If you think what happened that night was disturbing, you might not want to hear what came next.